Hello and welcome to Baker's World, the show that takes you into the exciting world of cakes, pastries, and all you will love to know in the industry. I am Funke Oyeyele Ashaleye. Many thanks for watching. Today, we have an upcoming and inspiring guest who proves that passion and profession can go hand in hand. She started baking way back in secondary school as a hobby, but in 2020, she turned her love for baking into a viable business. A pharmacist by profession and a baker by passion. Our guest baker will be showing us how to make the ever-popular red velvet cake. But that is not all. She will also take us up a notch with a beautiful decoration using buttercream, toppings like chocolate coins, Oreos cookies, and lots more. It is going to be a masterpiece, and you don't want to miss a single detail. I am sure you will not want to miss the interview session as Onyix will share her experience and a lot more. So get ready to mix, whisk, and bake as we dive into another exciting episode of Baker's World. Please stay tuned. Bogu, the CEO of Onyx Cakes. You're welcome to Baker's World.
Thank you very much.
You know, on Baker's World, we love to hear the stories behind the bakers, their successes, their challenges along the way. So let's start from the beginning. What sparked your interest in baking?
Right from when I was a child, when we were little, we used to bake in our house. My mom would bake cakes for our birthdays and just for like family gatherings. So that is where my love for baking started. Started learning from my mom, started doing simple recipes like banana cakes and others. And then in 2020, I enrolled in a baking school, and that was where I learned for some months.
So do you recall the very first pastry you made?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
What was it?
It was a banana cake. Then I was still in secondary school.
How did it turn out?
It turned out very well. I can remember the day we made the cake. My uncle was around and he took a taste of it and he decided to pay us for the cake. Like he bought it from us.
He must have really enjoyed it.
Yes.
Or maybe he was his family and he was just trying to encourage and support you.
That also.
And it kind of works because here you are today, you know, making the big bucks. So how would you say you have evolved as a baker over the period of time that you've been baking, including your edibles, your cakes that you've been making way back when you started till this point, and including your decorations way back then and now?
I had recipes that I learned from the baking school that I went to. And yes, those recipes were very good, very fine. But also with time, with baking, I may just think, let me try this. Let me try adding this. Let me try this amount of this. And I note the results. So if the result comes out better, I add that to my own personal recipe. And if it doesn't, then I know, okay, that is not the way to go. The same thing with cake decoration. You try different methods, and even on the internet, you see a lot of people with their own different recipes, their different methods. So I've just been trying which one works better, which one works best, and then I incorporate that into my own cakes. And then as a businesswoman, I have grown, been able to evolve and learn more about business, about how to keep a business alive, how to make sustainable profits that will keep the business alive.
Tell me the one thing that you wish you knew when you started baking. If you could go back in time and you tell your, 5 years from now self that, if I knew, I would not have, made this decision, or I would have made this decision. What was the one thing that you would do differently today?
So with my current experience, what I would have done differently when I was beginning was to cost my cakes more effectively and put in everything into consideration. My time, my energy, the electricity, the gas used, every single thing that I used, I would have put that into consideration in my costing. So if I could go back, I would put those things into consideration so that I can cost my cake properly.
Let's talk about the cake we're making today. Why red velvet cake? And why are you choosing, a white buttercream? In my head, I'm saying red velvet cake. I love it already. And I'm saying a white buttercream. I feel like the colors are so contrasting in my head. So I love it already. But why are you choosing this?
The cake we're making today is a red velvet cake. And this particular recipe that I'm using is an oil-based recipe. You don't need a mixer, or you don't need to cream butter and sugar together. So this recipe is actually very easy, and I think it will be good for our viewers to learn it. And the decoration we'll be doing over the red velvet cake, we'll be using white buttercream. So we are going to come out with a very beautiful and bright cake, and then add some decorations on top.
Thank you very much. And we wish you good luck as
Thank
you
you.
continue. But, at this point, we'll go into the kitchen and, we'll get baking.
Yeah.
So that was our conversation with the CEO of Onyx Cakes, Onyix Anibogu. So, but don't go anywhere. We'll take a quick break here and we'll give you baker's gist. But when we come back, we're going to be in the kitchen where the magic is going to happen.
Excellence is the minimum requirement in the school of success. There's a bread the president, the Dangotes, the Adenogas will not eat. And there's some bread which they will eat. I had one of these big boys sometimes when he's even going to barb his head, the barber comes from the UK to barb his head once in 3 weeks. So in the same way, you must understand the categories of the people we are baking to, we are baking for. Meaning, you have to give excellence. What is excellence? Excellence is not perfection. No. Excellence is not even a destination. Excellence is a journey. Meaning, excellence simply means when you bake a bread, make sure the bread or the cake you bake today is better than the one you baked yesterday. Excellence is something that is sequential, progressive, consistent. If you are baking for just 12 people or you are baking for 12,000, please take notes. You got to 12,000 because of excellence. You remain at 12 if you don't add excellence to what you're doing, because excellence is the minimum requirement in the school of success. When you start with just baking for your family, and more families are now asking you for bread, never compromise your quality. Never compromise the quality of the content. Never allow quantity to rob you of quality when you are selling a larger quantity. I may not be able to repeat that, but you know what I'm talking about. Never compromise your quality at a low state. Make no mistake when the breakthrough comes to compromise your quality.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we're still on Baker's World. I know earlier, before we went on break, you saw a lot from our baker, her experience, her passion, her dedication. Right here in the kitchen, about to let the magic happen. So stay tuned as she's going to be taking us through all the processes that you're going to need to make a perfect and delicious red velvet cake. So over to you, Chef. I am your assistant. Where do we start from?
Here we have our flour.
Okay.
This is already sieved. And then we'll put the cocoa. We'll sieve the cocoa into this.
Are we measuring it?
Yes,
Okay.
2 tablespoons of cocoa.
This one, 2 tablespoons. Okay.
Yes.
The one with TBS.
Yes. 1 tablespoon of cocoa. And then the 2nd tablespoon of cocoa. So we'll sieve that into the flour. So we'll have a smooth texture.
Okay. Okay.
See if it can.
So good. Okay. Yeah. I think doing it this way would eliminate waste.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So
We are done sieving the cocoa into the flour, and we'll keep that aside. So the next thing is to put our sugar into the bowl. This is 150 grams of sugar
150 grams.
that
Okay.
we'll be pouring in here. So we have our eggs whisked, and we'll pour that into the bowl. Next, we're going to be adding half cup of oil, vegetable oil.
Okay.
Then we'll put our vanilla flavor into the bowl, and we'll use a whisk to mix all the ingredients in the bowl together.
So this is what it looks like. Seems like everything is well incorporated. Or do we still mix a little bit more?
No, this is fine. So we'll put this aside, and now it's time to mix our yogurt and our color together.
So this is the main key ingredient, the red color for a red velvet cake. Don't skip this, because once you skip this, I think it's no longer a red velvet cake. Maybe you're just having whatever color velvet cake you're doing. But really, this is the main ingredient. Okay, for now. Use a deeper spoon.
So the next thing now, this is where everything comes together.
So which one goes first, the dry or the liquid?
The dry always comes first and always comes last,
Okay.
when you're alternating.
Okay. So what portion of this goes in here first?
1/3 of the dry ingredients will go in first.
You do the pouring, I'll help you do the stirring.
Okay.
So 1/3 of the dry ingredients.
Say it again, please. Say it again. What you?
Yes.
Oh, look at that color.
And stir.
So at this point, we'll pour the last of the...
The rest of the yogurt.
Okay, great.
So the rest of the flour goes in now. And we mix till everything is uniform.
Honestly, I love the aroma coming from this. I can smell the yogurt, it smells so good. Even the cocoa is like
Yes.
sensitizing my nostril.
So by now the oven should be preheating already,
Okay.
and our pan should be ready. because once we put this baking soda and vinegar, the cake has to go straight into the oven. So we're using 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 tablespoon of vinegar.
So we add?
Yes,
Please
then we add
lemons.
it.
Okay. So when you see your cake like this, you've created a beautiful reaction here.
So without wasting time, we have to pour it in the pan and put it in the oven. The temperature from 200 to 250.
Okay, so anywhere between 200 and 250 is good.
Is good.
Okay, so how long do we bake for?
For an hour.
We're back. It's time for the decorating segment.
Okay, our cake just came out of the oven. So we have our freshly baked red velvet cake, and we'll be decorating this now. First of all, we are going to start with trimming the cakes. We'll start by trimming off the top of our cake here, so we can see how red. Then we'll go on to check and make sure that our cake is straight. Okay, our cake is balanced. We'll put this one aside and move on to the next layer of the cake.
Just a little, because this is lower, this is up.
Before we start stacking the cakes, we have to put a little bit of our buttercream at the base. You handle your cakes with care, you know they are fragile. So we are taking out some of our white buttercream and we'll spread it over this first layer before we put the second layer. Now we can put our third and last layer. So next up, we are going to be trimming the sides of the cake. So we'll just be putting also put some at the top layer. You just place your scraper by the side and then
go around.
We'll just leave this to sit for some time so that it can firm up. So now to the decoration of the cake. We have our decoration materials here. First of all, we'll be using this chocolate ganache to drip around the cake. We'll be using our white buttercream to pipe around this cake.
Very good.
Now that we are done with the piping, we will be putting our cookies on the cake for decoration. Right, so we're going to go in with some color. We'll just sprinkle on it to add more life and vibrance. So now we are done finally with our decoration, and this cake is looking so beautiful.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And we went very, very generous on the sprinkles. This is a very beautiful looking cake. I mean, it's got it all. Yes, all the sweet tooth, all the sweetness and goodness that you can imagine on a cake is present right on this cake. We love it. I love it. What time it is? it's time to taste and give you the review. Please, let's have a taste. We've been working hard, and this is the reward of our hard work in the kitchen. I get to taste. We get to enjoy this. This is my favorite part. The cake, this red velvet cake is very soft, easily melts in the mouth, and the buttercream, very good too. I love it. And then of course I can feel the richness of that coffee, is it cocoa taste? Yes, that's what it tastes like, smell like coffee, but cocoa, everything is gotten from cocoa. So I could taste that bit of coffee, and the aroma that I'm perceiving from it is really, really good. I love this. Honestly, you really do need to try this at home. This is a very, very good recipe. Easy to make, easy to work with. It's really, really good. So thank you very, very much. Our baker, she has really done well. And if you want to make a delicious, red velvet, white buttercream cake like this, all you need to do is follow all the steps and the procedure that our baker has shown you today. Send us your videos, your pictures of your own homemade red velvet cake. We would love to see it. Well, that's where we draw the curtain for today. So we'll come your way next week with a more interesting and exciting episode of Baker's World. You can follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. It's Baker's World on NTA. So I am Funke Oyele. See you next week.